Okay, hello everyone and good afternoon. I'm here today with our next Wellness Wednesday episode.
Oh yeah. Yes. Trying to mute this. Sorry. There we go.
You're good. Okay, here we go. So I'm here on our next Wellness Wednesday episode, part of our series, and our special guest today is Dawn Ramsden, and she is with Wholistic Healing Experiences. And a little background about her. So for more than 2 decades, Dawn has worked with thousands of people to access healing energy within. And she shares innovative wellness tools from her lifelong learned experiences through intuitive individual massages and bodywork sessions, as well as training groups. So knowing that healing begins within, her natural ability to speak truth in love to vulnerable topics creates a safe space for her audience to get uplifting education in alternative healing methods and teach them how to access the warrior trapped within. So today she's going to dive into these ninja hacks for your warrior system, or I'm sorry, for your nervous system, and really give us some tips that we can apply at home during these times and have better understanding of these tools that we can utilize. So welcome, Dawn. We're so glad that you are our guest this week. And to start, will you just go ahead and kind of tell us about yourself, your background, your history in massage, and we'll dive in.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. So I went to massage therapy school straight out of high school. I wanted to be a chiropractor, actually, and I thought, let me go to massage school first, and then I'll just work as a massage therapist while I go to college and then chiropractic college, because that's like 8 years of training. And I thought doing massage would just fit right in. But my plans got a little interrupted when my daughter came along, and, I didn't complete all the college when I planned. But anyway, I worked with people with fibromyalgia. My mom had fibromyalgia and a lot of chronic pain issues. And she had a massage therapist in the medical office where she worked. So every other Friday she would get a massage. And I just saw how relaxed and calm and just at ease she was. And I thought, isn't this cool that you could have a career where you not only impact the person on your table, but you can impact a family and, a business and whatever. So anyway, so I've been doing it for going on 23 years now.
Awesome. So kind of what got you into more than massage therapy? So you started really massage, but then it kind of opened some other doors. So tell us a little bit about that and what you offer.
Well, so a long time ago, when I first got into massage, I started doing nutritional supplements to just really create this whole package, because healing and wholeness is a mind, body, spirit package. And so if you are supporting your thoughts, if you are supporting your body with supplements, and all these things can work together so that you are happy and well. And if you're too stressed, that impacts your immune system and things like that. And, so I've just always been super curious about these different pieces. But the last couple of years, I've really dug deep into the nervous system in particular, because my husband had a parachute accident. It's been 10 years ago now. And, just learning a lot about the effects of brain injury in the military. He was in the military. And so we have, learned about different things, like there's different reflex points on your scalp and different areas that you can tap while you say statements. And that will just instantly just cut anxiety in half and really help people get a breakthrough. So that's what I really wanted to kind of get into the weeds a little bit of that today and share some tips, because these are some tricks that we use at home in our family. And, I call them ninja hacks because a lot of this was kind of rooted in traditional Chinese medicine and looking at how, years, hundreds and hundreds of years of study go into the different reflex points in our bodies as related to the meridian systems of that. So in my massage practice, I do a lot with the ear reflexology. There's different points in the ear that you can rub to reduce stress. And, and we can even put like little magnetic seeds on the ear for people to wear for a couple of days. But my favorite is the emotional freedom tapping techniques. And you can Google those. There's a YouTube channel that is a company that teaches people how to do this. So just, and maybe we'll post the link in the comments after we're done, but that's what I use quite a bit. And it's so fascinating how your brain and all of that neurological impulse going back and forth, how there's certain little areas, you can just tap around your eye and on your face, but also when you do those statements, that helps program your subconscious. And I recently learned that 95% of our reality is being produced by our subconscious. So this is something we all want to know, right? How to do. Yeah. And so, I've used it with my son last year. I was away at a conference and they watched the Jurassic Park movie, which, they were 9 and 10 at the time. So that was a little much for a 9-year-old to take in, that a dinosaur, could eat them. And so what was happening is he was essentially having these, we call these negative hallucinations, where he believed that if he closed his eyes to sleep, a dinosaur was going to come in his room and eat him. And, I look at what's going on today and how much we, what are we watching on the news and what are we hearing in conversations that are programming our subconscious to have fear, to have anxiety? There's certain things you have to just be smart, right? Like wash your hands when you've touched things and, stuff like that. But, to just really have anxiety about going outside at all. And, your mind just really goes down a rabbit hole of that. And so the emotional freedom tapping is a great way if you are afraid to, like nurses, if you're afraid to go to work and you're feeling that anxiety building as you're driving into work, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to pick up when I go on shift, or, whatever, then there you could do those. And a lot of it is kind of like an even though statement. So you just start out with, even though I feel overwhelmed and I don't know what's going to happen next, I allow myself to release and let go. And that's just an easy one that you can do all the time. So if your kids are, really scared to go to sleep, or, they're just really afraid of whatever, then you can do one of those statements with them. And then, Google the YouTube. So if you can do the tapping with it, that's the ninja trick part. That's what kind of makes it work with quantum benefits. We helped my son. He was so afraid of dinosaurs, and it took almost a week of this. Like we would have to do this every night and stuff, but he was able to get past it. And then my oldest daughter is in college. And so I got to teach that to her this year too, with, she's just feeling really overwhelmed. She's got her own apartment, and how it is when, when we were younger and we were learning how to manage work and life, and now you have this house and your mom's not there to do your dishes, your laundry, right? And then how do you start when you feel so overwhelmed? So I taught her how to do that too, and just the even though I'm feeling overwhelmed and I don't know where to start, I allow myself to release and let go. Or you can switch it up and do some of those programming statements where you could say, I can do this 1 minute at a time. I just have to do one thing right now, so even though I feel overwhelmed, I only have to do one thing right now. And then go do that one thing, so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was actually introduced to EFT with affirmations and affirmations. And so it's something that I've incorporated in my morning routine using mirror work. And many times I write my affirmations on my mirror. And a lot of times I will use tapping, especially if I feel a lot of stress or that anxiousness through that day. And I can attest that it is beneficial. And something that when you get used to it, because I won't lie, at first, the first time I did it, I was like, I feel really awkward,
Right.
It's uncomfortable. It's not normal. And so, but the more that you get used to it, the more you feel the need for it almost. It really calm you and really help you.
It's so funny because one of the techniques when you start is like a chopping right here on the side of your hand. And, just kind of tapping this point a couple of times. And that's when you start your even though statement. And I've even been in certain, just certain networking meetings or something like that, where I know I'm going to have to stand up and, and speak. And it's something I've done for years, but it's so funny in a new group or whatever, I can, as soon as I feel that heart rate starting to get louder and louder, then, I'll just be under the table, just kind of tapping this part of my hand. And kind of take a deep breath and, like, even though I'm feeling anxious about talking in front of this group, these are my friends, and
And I
it's going to
love
be
that
okay.
totally. And I love that it's like a lifelong tool that when you learn it, you can use it forever. And so that's one of my passions, is empowering people to have preventative measures that they can take into their own hands. And so that's one of those preventative pieces that you can learn it and use it. And it's a life skill that you have in your toolkit, So
Yeah. Well, and also I wanted to talk a little bit about, I was at a conference last summer where I've been learning more about a company called Vox Life,
yeah.
and they have, you know, a couple different patterns that you wear in the form of socks or insoles or a patch, or today I've got my sleeve on. And so they are made with like little tactile patterns. So this
Mhm.
one here is for cognitive boosting, and it's so cool. I've learned so much about neurofeedback, and how they can take these little caps with 19 different sensors on there, and they can actually measure within 1/100th of a second your neurological impulse. And so they've studied and they've brain mapped to figure out, okay, this part of the brain is related to anxiety and this part is related to attention. And so with this one, they tested 10 different networks in the body. So once you have the pattern near your skin, in 20 minutes, those cognitive areas of your brain are balanced. So it's like the coolest thing. It's kind of like, I heard this joke a long time ago about a thermos, and how, like a thermos is the smartest invention in the world because it knows when to keep the hot stuff hot and the cold stuff cold.
Right.
Like how to, anyway.
Yeah.
But so if you have those networks in your brain, say your attention network, and it's just all over the place, right? And you're trying to sit down and work on a project, and your brain is like, don't forget the whatever, and you should be doing this right now, and blah, blah, right?
Right.
And so your attention's just, or you're trying to listen to someone speak, and your brain is doing that, right?
Right.
This will help that. And then also I've learned a lot about how it helps kids. So there's a thing called coherence in your brain, and that's like the big picture thinker and the little picture thinker, and the two sides of your brain talk. And so the one half of the brain is saying 2 + 2 is 4, and the other half of the brain is saying the sum of 4 is 2 + 2, and you don't know which one's right because they sound so different. And so if kids can get, or adults can get their brain in balance, and these two sides lock. And I actually got to have my brain mapped, so I got to see this in motion, so it was really cool. But I just, I think this is so neat that we are living in a time where we have all these different tools in place. And I love, and it's interesting that the doctor that did my brain map actually does work with doTERRA oils, and he incorporates those in his neurofeedback sessions. So for people who came in and, they were, like ADHD or ASD or whatever, and just their brain is going a million miles a minute, then he talked about using Serenity to help calm the brain and then do the neurofeedback. And so all these are just little tools that we can use, because our brain is I call it's like the master control center. So our immune system, our thoughts, all that is being controlled by our brain. So amazing how quickly, a lot of these things work. You don't have to do it for days, you put the essential oils on your body, and then boom, it's affecting your brain. So yeah. And I think he said, like with peppermint, if you put peppermint on your feet, he did the brain map stuff with that, and he saw things within like a reaction within 10 seconds.
Right.
So
and
so
it's definitely
fun.
the whole body. So I believe it's like 20 seconds. It's immediate with most essential oils. And of course there's variants based on which oil it is, but in about 2 minutes, it's every cell in your body with essential oils. So that's the pretty interesting piece. And the fastest way to reap those benefits is just through aroma. And I think that's interesting because it's olfactory nerve to your limbic system, and then it's just your entire body. So on that topic of essential oils, so how do you incorporate oils in your practice?
Yeah, so I use those kind of similar, to that. If I have someone who comes in and I know they're just all over the place, and I use music and in particular types of music that have certain frequencies related. And so I use the essential oils like that with the frequencies of them to kind of, because if you think about music, and you have two different musical notes, they're going to harmonize together. And so if someone is, you know, and that's the thing, I've been doing this a lot. So for me, part of my gift is picking up on these frequencies and working intuitively. So if I kind of pick up that they're really anxious that day, or they come in and they're like, oh my gosh, it's been so crazy. I've got a speeding ticket, or, whatever. I'm like, you know what, we're going to just start with some lavender and some serenity. And I'll put some of that in the palm of my hand, rub it together, and then hold it under the face rest and have them go ahead and inhale like 3 deep breaths, and that just really helps get the body, really prepared to do the work and receive the work that I'm going to do. And, but then also, as I've studied more about aromatherapy and then the properties of different essential oils, I'll use the copaiba and frankincense for people who have nerve issues to really, get in there and support the nervous system, and, do some along the spine in particularly, just to really support that spinal cord and spinal tissue. And then, then there's sometimes I do, just for fun, like we'll do if someone has a migraine, I'll do a peppermint scalp massage. And so that's just like a little drop, and you spread it between your fingertips and then massage the scalp. And it's so neat how using the essential oils combined with the touch techniques that I do, I can cut through a headache in 5 to 10 minutes. So I really, really love having that. And then of course, the deep blue, that's every massage therapist friend to, and I really love, it's not just there's other products out there that have the analgesic type thing, like your menthols and your peppermints and stuff like that. But I really like some of the other ingredients, like the helichrysum and things that help support soft tissue. So yeah, I love it for that. And then I have roller balls too. So I'll do I have a couple of packages that I'll do. One's called a massagerita, and we use a lemon and lime and orange in the roller ball. And so I'll incorporate that in the session, and then the client goes home with the roller ball to repeat at home. So yeah.
Very cool. And I love that essential oils are twofold, really. Well, more than two, but like you can use them aromatherapy, but then like you said, they all have frequencies that support your body in different ways. And I love that. That was part of the topic on Monday that I shared about different frequencies of oils. And I shared a really good stress relieving blend for that, which is kind of perfect timing for all this.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, kind of just to wrap up, what is the current status of your business here in Colorado Springs? And then how can anyone here local support you?
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. So the governor and the health department have included massage therapists in the businesses to remain closed until April 30th. So right now I cannot treat clients, until then. And probably I kind of anticipate it's going to be a little bit longer just because of the nature of the type of work that we do, being so close to people. So in the meantime, I am serving people with helping them get some Kangen water. The 2.5 strong acidic water actually kills bacteria and virus. So this is a great option for people who, because you can use the On Guard blend and the essential oils to do similar things, but you wouldn't necessarily want to spray that all over your clothes, or sometimes people, they're just tired of smelling it. So it's a good option. So I'm helping people get gallons of water for that. And they can contact me through the Facebook page that you posted. And then the other thing is gift cards. So I am planning to reopen. So I have I have a brick and mortar business, and I have 3 years left on my lease, and this is my gifting. And so I'm not changing careers. So if people want to buy gift cards for, because it's just good to have that little hope to hold on to, that things are going to get better at the end of this thing. So I am not scheduling online right now, but people can reach out, and then I'll get them on the schedule list for when we reopen. And then also for Mother's Day, depending on how things look with the reopening, I'm putting together some relaxation kits. And so people, if they want to do just like a fun little foot massage or, fun little thing like that through Zoom with their mom, then that's something fun. I'll mail a package to them and a package to their mom. So I'll have details on the website soon.
Oh, that's fun. That's a good idea. Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Dawn. And I have listed your website here, and we'll go back and make sure that your Facebook page and you are completely tagged in this. And so people can reach out to you directly if there's any questions as they watch this. So thank you again for being the guest this week. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for, all the information that you are sharing, because in times like this where, we're bombarded with all this information, I love that, you're a voice of resource for ways people can support their health and, and their vitality to get through this. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.